Grand opening, grand closing. What is going on, everybody? What is happening? It is a special evening edition of 30 Frames Full Ray Hardware Ray Tracing Podcast. As you don't know, 60 Frames No Lag has been pushed this week. Porter Rock out there doing his thing. Shout out to him. And he's out there working, so shout out to him. And, you know, we all got to do it. So I'm kind of, guerrilla hosting, OG Silverback style, this one. So big shout out to people that are here now, people that will be listening later. Got a few topics for you tonight. Nothing major is going on right now. We moved into August, so happy August. It's my birthday month. Shout out to all you Leos out there. It's Leo time. But I want to give a big special shout out to everybody who has went over to my Twitch channel and actually joined. So I want to shout out here to Ready Player One. He is following me on Twitch. I appreciate that. D Money 754. Shout out to D Money 754. He's following on Twitch. And Wolf Saints 94. Shout out to Wolf Saints 94. Another Twitch. This happened 3 days ago, so shout out to them. Ice Queen, she's back. She's following on Twitch. I do appreciate that. I mean, go over there on Twitch and check that out. Trying to build that channel up. And then JRoll48, always a pleasure. He is over there on Twitch as well. Also, big shout out to everybody that watched the gameplay. I did Mass Effect over on with the if you want to watch it, that's on Twitch. That's Mass Effect 1. That is on the Series X. And that is the Adventures of LaQuisha Shepard. So I went back in and I changed her and I got it to the same spot. I played it a little bit more yesterday. So Shepard, LaQuisha is already a Spectre now. And so when we pick up, she will be a Spectre. And I got my crew together and we're gonna go from there. Of course, Mass Effect 2, played that. We're in the midst of recruiting Garrus Vicarian right now, and that's on the PlayStation. That is on YouTube. So playing Mass Effect back to back like that, and then playing on the Xbox is just bringing back old memories of playing on the 360. So of course on the Xbox it has a 4K 120 FPS mode, and which does not, the PlayStation does not have. But you got to remember, Microsoft spec'd their console to play old games very good. And Mass Effect came out, I believe, in 07. So I believe 2007 is where, everything kind of started, and the Dragon Age community kind of adapted this as its new baby, and or adopted it, I should say. And it hasn't let us down. I mean, there have been some things that people didn't like Mass Effect Andromeda. That was an abortion. But at the end of the day, and I tried to go back and play it, and I've beaten Mass Effect Andromeda with both the female and the male. That game just plays better if you use Sarah Ryder. It just feels more natural playing with her. However, I used the male one. You all saw that. We had our little sex scene in there. We left that in there. It was PG-13. Well, that was kind of a soft, kind of an R sex scene, because people were getting mad that Mass Effect 3 didn't have that many. But anyway, getting off topic there. So you can see what some of our topics are here today. First things first, are you surprised at the lack of marketing from Microsoft with Bethesda's game Starfield? I, for one, am not. I am not, and I'll explain why. The second thing is the PlayStation 5 Pro, which I wasn't really going to talk about a whole lot anymore until more information came out. But Jez Gordon actually has an article out from when he I think he got interviewed, and just that same Jez Gordon that has the horrible cable management. He said some things that were profound in it, in that article, and how the PS5 Pro, if it's real, or the next PlayStation which is real because PlayStation let that out during the FTC trial, how it's going to be when you have a console that targets 30, being the Series S, and a console that's going to target minimum 60. That doesn't mean it won't have 30 FPS games on it, but the minimum is 60. You have to understand. And Porter Rock, this kind of comes from what he said. I left a link in the description to his podcast. He did an upload, about a 1 hour upload. Go check it out. He's talking about this too. He was talking about, of all podcasts, RDX, and how one of the RDX members, D Batch, is saying that Microsoft is going to respond, and they being the members of RDX, push back on that, saying they didn't think Microsoft would really respond, but because Microsoft no gives a damn about hardware sales, which I believe they're getting out of the hardware business. I've been saying that for years. Shout out to King Thrash. He's been saying it too. Want to make sure we definitely give him a word up. So, but yeah, that's what I think about that. But ultimately, we're going to talk about that. And I think there was one more thing here that I wanted to go over. Oh, yes. Sony with the new beta update. Of course, if you have an extra beta code, you can go ahead and send it my way. Wink, wink, nod, nod. If not, Sony has added Dolby Atmos, or Atmosphere, Dolby Atmos, to the console. So you would hook that up. The way you would hook it up, you have to go through your eARC and your television. So I can't do that right now because my Xbox is hooked up to my eARC. So, because that's the only place I could put it there. All the other HDMI holes are plugged, right? like Adam 22's wife, what's it called? Lena the Plug or something like that. She was like an adult film actress. So, but yeah, so I can't use it, but it's Atmos, and there's a difference in Atmos and 3D sound. And I left a link to an article, to an old article, because this was a big fanboy thing when this stuff was happening. And I worked in a movie theater. I played drums. I know what good sound is. And I've said this multiple times. 3D audio mimics the way your ear captures sound. Atmos, however, is like if you got a big home stereo system, Atmos is nice too. I'd much rather have 3D sound, and I'm not just saying that because, well, you have a PlayStation. No. I mean, it's I've always felt like that. Even the PlayStation headsets are better, than a lot of the stuff out there on the market. It's just the 3D sound is just cleaner. Even I was playing Resident Evil and The Last of Us remake. You could hear that big thing. I don't know what it's called. It throws stuff at you. I could hear that thing like its footsteps, and I could judge its distance, even though I couldn't really see it that well. One time it snuck up right behind me, and I just happened to move, and I happened to see its foot come down. Like, oh crap, I couldn't really hear it. So, but I did enjoy it, especially with the headsets on. Ghost of Tsushima, when it's raining, you can really. There's a big difference when you had those 3D headsets on. Nothing wrong with Atmos. That is for if you, if you've got a stereo system and it's hooked up to your home stereo system. Atmos, again, more for movies. Okay, more for movies. When you hook up, if you have Disney Plus, you got that DTS digital sound. If you watch Star Wars, you got Skywalker sound. You run that through your Atmos. Oh man, something else. But PlayStation getting that, I think, and again, Microsoft, I thought, was ahead of them with this. Remember, Microsoft's console day one, VRR, was ready to roll, okay? And, Sony didn't have that. And then you had Dolby Atmos. I mean, again, you have to download apps and all that. It's trash to have to work this on the Xbox, right? But they had it ready to go if you wanted it. And like I said, I still can't hook a headset up to mine. To my Xbox. It's frustrating as you know what. But so Sony doing this in the beta, so that means it's coming. It'll be out for everybody probably by next month or something like that. 5 to 6 weeks on the beta, like the 1440p beta. I don't know how many of y'all use that beta, but that was nice. Again, let's make this clear. I think they had 1440p support out the box. So their console actually for all this stuff was ready to go. Sony had to catch up. And that was different from last generation because it was Microsoft that had to catch up. Also, if you have an Xbox Series console, how do I stream to YouTube? Because I can stream to Twitch, but I have no idea how to stream to YouTube. So somebody can help me out there. So just leave it because I can't find it online. There's all this something, you can use something called an Elgato, which is a cat. So, but yeah, so those things, Microsoft had that hardware stuff down. VRS and VR, they were ready. They just, they were depending on, as multiple people have said, Microsoft tried to outpower Sony, thinking that developers would, everything would be so much better, and it turned out not to be true. It's not true. And so the PlayStation, again, it's the difference like between a 3060 and like a 3070 or a 6700 XT and a 6800. There's just not that big a deal. Then when you throw in Smart Shift and the fact that bottlenecking is happening on the Xbox and it's not happening on the PlayStation as much, it's not that the PlayStation don't have a bottleneck at some point, but but yeah, Atmos, if you got the home stereo, definitely hook that up, try it. Let me know what that's like because it's in the beta. Talk about the people in the beta. You got to have the Atmos stuff ready to roll. And a lot of people don't. And I think you can get headsets that have Atmos, so you can go online and check those out and see if there's any major difference between what Sony has with the 3D audio headsets and then its counterpart. Because I don't know if the H9s, the newer ones that came out, I don't know if the H9s are Atmos. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to enough people that bought them. So Aaron says he'd rather have 30 FPS than yet another Spider-Man doing the same exact thing as the last two. Well, what else is Spider-Man supposed to do? They say in the song, he does whatever a spider can. So, I mean, I don't know why they can't track him. Doesn't he have radioactive blood? Or at least and maybe they changed it and that's fine, but he used, at least the old Spider-Man I grew up with, he had radioactive blood. So, I don't know why they can't track him, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. The Series X also had LFR compensating using, they had a lot of stuff. They had a lot of stuff ready to go. It did not work out for them for whatever reason. And a lot of it, people got to really understand is that most people don't have high value kind of TV sets. Most people don't. Most people still have 1080p TVs. And then if you're a PC person, most people have 1080p to 1440p screens. That's just a fact. So a lot of people aren't playing on 4K. They're not. But I mean, again, how many TVs have I bought like one TV per generation. This generation I bought 2 TVs. 2, not 1 but 2. So, and 1 is still here. And I would, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So somebody said the 4080 is coming out. Saw that. A friend of mine building a PC. He went and bought the 4070. I don't know why, but that's what he bought. So yeah, you're gonna enjoy the so-called Spider-Man game. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be. I'm sure. I mean, we don't know what kind of game it's gonna be, right? But I don't know what else they want him to do. He's gonna be acting different because of the symbiote. And the symbiote looks like a giant black blob. I got a kick out of that. I thought that was pretty funny. So that's going to be fun to control that thing or try to control it. But yeah, I don't know what else they want him to. Even Miles Morales' Spider-Man acts similar to Parker's Spider-Man. He does a lot of the same stuff. Now when you get into like Spider-Woman and Cindy, I think it's a Cindy Moon, I think that's Silk. That's different. They have different kind of powers. So their powers, I know Cindy Moon's is much more, her spider sense is much better than Parker's and Miles's, like much better. But she's female, so her intuition is going to be a little bit different. So that's why I think they ought to bring that character on, because it'll allow you to play be a Spider-Man, but you will have to play different. You can't go out there and just overpower things. You know, she would kind of like Assassin's Creed when they were in England, and the girl would play differently than the guy did. You know, the girl couldn't rely more on stealth, and that's what Cindy Moon does. So again, they don't have to do it. We're just kind of chalking it up. But so yeah, again, the Atmos, that's a big deal because now Sony's console has come full circle, and it has everything. It has VRR, it has 1440p support, albeit it took it 3 damn years, you know, to get there. But Sony does look at its PlayStation as a peripheral device, and if its main TVs, the high-end TV, the Bravias, talking about the Masterclass now, if they don't support it at the Masterclass, you can remember that it's a peripheral device. So it's kind of like, all right, if our Masterclass, why put it on a console when even the TV don't even support it? Yeah. So what's up, boycott Activision? So, but I think this is good news. I mean, if you're looking at it as far as the fanboy BS, it's just one less thing now that the Xbox has that the PlayStation don't have. So, but people have asked me, Xbox, I don't know what you call them, Xbox gamers have asked me, what are the main differences in the PlayStation and the Xbox? I'm like, let's see, the PlayStation is better balanced. I don't know. It's like a running back that has really good, he does a little bit of everything. Like Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was extremely elusive if you watched the video of him or if you saw him play, and he had very good balance. Wasn't a great back. He wasn't a good catching back though. That's the PlayStation. The Xbox is like Jim Brown, God rest his soul. It's just power. And, you know, it's trying to power everything, and you know, but it has a bottleneck because of the RAM issues, and everybody knows that. You know, they're going to have some trouble down the road if PlayStation is truly going to bring out a console that specs at 60 up to minimum 60. And, you know, they're going to have to go through different, it's kind of moving the story on. But we'll say what's up to the people here. Mike 058 said the best keeps getting better with Atmos. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they have it. I don't use Atmos. I'm not against it. Like, if you have a home stereo system, you should have Dolby Atmos. That's the best. That's it. That way you can get, like I said, Skywalker sound, you can get DTS sound, you can get all of it. Wait till the Nolan movie Oppenheimer comes to home. At that point, I'll be wanting a Atmos. I don't care if it's an Atmos soundbar. I'm glad I waited, but yeah, I want that Atmos soundbar. My TV, I believe the B2 LG, I believe it supports that. But we'll have to wait and see. I know it supports. One thing I like about the Xbox, it has Dolby. What's that Dolby? It has the other, not HDR, but it has the other output that's like 12 bits versus the 10 HDR bits. But that's and your TV automatically switches to it. Like mine, and it just boom, it goes right to it. So, Gamer Bull says, "What up, Chocolate Thunder?" Yeah, well, Chocolate Thunder is I think he didn't frighten some people off. You know what I'm saying? So, also big shout out to Jay Barry. I don't know if you all saw his announcement on Twitter that he was the Speak from the Heart series, and I forgot another thing he did. He said, I believe, yeah, Dolby Vision, thanks. It would be nice if Sony got Dolby Vision, but again, I don't know if their Masterclass TVs support Dolby Vision. So somebody can look that up, because again, if their Masterclass TV does not support it, their secondary peripheral device probably won't either. I mean, hopefully that makes business sense to you. But shout out again to Jay Bar. I think his Speak from the Heart series, and I forgot which I think he was doing 2 of them. He said on Twitter, if I understood the tweet, that he was done with those. That he was I don't know if he's going to end them at the end of this month, if he ended them at the end of July, but he said he was done with them. So we'll have to, maybe he brings them back for special occasions. I mean, he may bring one back for the Spider-Man release. I'm assuming he may do something like that. But yeah, so we're Best Buy will sell you an 8K TV for about 10. Yeah, I saw one there, and it was $8,800. Out, like somebody had already bought it and brought it back. I'm like, well, what's the differences here? I'm not, and they did show me some stuff, but I'm like, I can't really see that big of a difference. I think the Olympics next year is going to be in 8K, some of the events, and maybe the World Series may get broadcast in 8K. Somebody can double check that. I think the opening games for the Olympics, I think the Olympics are in France next year. I don't know. It may not be because they keep rioting over there, right? So, but I think it's going to be in 8K. So, let's see here. You were rich, you'd be happy with the G3. Isn't that stunning? If you don't even want to buy it, if you see the G3, it stands out. I mean, it stands out. I think it is LG's brightest TV. Like, it is bright. So go and check that out. Yeah, I agree that, well, I would say they would need Dolby Vision but see, their games, all their PS4 games, they brought to the PS5. They all have 60 FPS patches. I don't know what Dolby Vision would do, but I wouldn't turn it down, but it's not a deal breaker. That neither supports Dolby Vision for 4K. Yeah, but I don't know if that's, but how many 4K movies really need it? Maybe the MCU movies and Star Wars movies and the Flash movie. Again, that girl playing Supergirl, oh my God. I want to buy her some beer and wings. I mean, she is stunning. And guess what? Have you all seen that they did not have to put a lot of effects on her? She just looks like that. But I've had a crush on her ever since she was on Young and the Restless. I was like watching Young and the Restless to see her. I'm like, oh, she's not on there today? I ain't watching it, right? So you think Sony will push ray tracing in 8K at 30 frames? What the PS5 Pro? Yeah, let's talk about the PS5 Pro. So Jez Gordon allegedly was either interviewed or he wrote an article, and it's the same Jez Gordon with the horrible cable management, where he was talking about how if Sony is truly working on a PS5 Pro, and he caveated it, of course, very, very, very astute of him, then look at what it's going to do to the Series X and S. It will be more powerful than the Series X, which Microsoft, in the last 2 years, I have not heard them talk about power. Microsoft, talk about power with Xbox in 2 years. It was a marketing ploy. It didn't work because it didn't work, right? So, but when you're going to have games being compared and you see the Series S, which is this is going to be the lower tier, will be the lower tier PlayStation, it will be compared to the Series S, which is the standard Xbox. And if you don't know, Microsoft has said that the Series X is its mid-gen refresh, and with it being the mid-gen refresh, and as of right now, according to Jez Gordon, let's put it where it is, Microsoft does not plan on building another console that he has heard. He's fairly close to them. And he is not, and of course, Microsoft left themselves a back door saying that we don't plan on it right now. So which means they can always do it. But I'm of the mindset that they're not going to do it. Now, D-Batch on RDX was saying that, there's no way Microsoft is going to let this happen, that they are going to do something because they can't have games running at, I don't know. Let's take a game that, according to some people, that could become a first party game. Let's take Cyberpunk, right? If Cyberpunk first things first, let's start at the beginning. Sony would have to buy CD Projekt Red. If they bought CD Projekt Red and then they went back in and they said, okay, Cyberpunk on the PS5 Pro is going to be 4K 60 with ray tracing. I don't know if you all have seen Cyberpunk running on like a high-end PC. Look, you all know that game, what I was saying about it, right? I was like, hey, it's called Cyberpunk. I can't front with what that game looks like, especially at night with that ray tracing going. Oh my goodness, it's one of the best, if not the best looking game I have ever seen. This is on a high end PC. PS5 Pro could match that or get close, if not be the same. So let's just say one, Sony buys CD Projekt Red. Two, they make a PlayStation 5 Pro. Three, and they lead with Cyberpunk on that game. And CD Projekt Red comes out and says, okay, here's Cyberpunk running on the new PlayStation, and it's 4K, 60, full ray tracing. Okay, here it is at 1440p at 120 frames per second with ray tracing on. And here it is with some type of FSR, whatever, 3.0, and it's running, 1080p, but it's going to upsample to 1800p and be open frame, running between 58 or 55 to 125 frames. I'm just putting a number out there, right? And then the poor Xbox is there, looking like trash, because they're not going to change it. It's still going to be 4K 30 on the Series X. So it'll be 4K 30 or whatever it is, on Series X, right? And they said, and Lono Reforged Gaming was saying that and I think Jez Gordon mentioned it, which was that in his interview or article was saying that the PlayStation would become kind of the default console. It would become a default console, and people and a lot of these developers would not go ahead and develop for the S, which is what people are thinking is going to happen. There's a very good chance this is going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. But D-Batch was saying that, and again, I'm not talking down on D-Batch. He was saying that Microsoft would not just wait on Sony to do this. Maybe Sony builds their console, then a year and a half later, Microsoft builds a console. So, but they actually on that podcast, they were pushing back against him. They pushed back against him, saying no, they just think they're going to let it go. They don't care because their hope is Game Pass, and I still believe that Franco Tech in the house. My goodness, long time no see, my brother. Long time no see. I personally believe that a form of Game Pass will come to PlayStation. So, and it'll be again because that's the best way for them to get these games that Microsoft is pulling from them. Now, I also believe that Sony is going to make two major purchases because they're looking for an acquisitions manager to help identify inorganic. We talked about this before, inorganic studios. So they're going to make a couple of major purchases as well, and they're gonna quote unquote retaliate and pull games off of Xbox. They'll offer them 5 to 10 year deals, and that'll be it. But that's neither here nor there because that hasn't happened. So what do you all think about what Jez Gordon was saying? Will the PS5 become, if there's a Pro, and now all of a sudden the developers they can just say, if the PS5, the one that we have right now, the one that's in the store, they can just simply say as developers that, all right, we're only going to develop for this, and my game will be minimum 60 frames per second. But, I believe that the PS5 got spec'd. I know it got spec'd predominantly for Unreal 5. So any game this has Unreal 5, ultimately, once it's upgraded and all that kind of stuff, once it's upgraded, it will run better on the PS5. Maybe not initially, but as they add more stuff, the PS5 is spec'd to run Unreal. So that's what I keep telling people. Nobody wants to believe me. Hey, look, then explain, Juggernaut, why did Sony have its first showing of its console, something running on it, was the Unreal Engine? D-Batch is saying what he wants to happen. Maybe, possibly, But and again, because there is the pushback was that as of right now, publicly at least, Microsoft doesn't plan on building another console. Now, this doesn't mean that they won't, because they left themselves kind of a back door, like I was saying earlier. But ultimately, it's got to be up to those developers. And you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do the research and development. They're getting, you know, we know that the series, I mean, even the Series S, it got an update, right? They got a black version of it with 1 terabyte hard drive. So again, that's the truth. That's not me bashing Xbox. They are coming out with another it comes out what, in September? So is it September or is it November? There's the black Series S. And I'm like, oh my God, I was tempted to buy that. I know J-Dub bought it, but I was tempted to get that too because I like that color. But yeah, that's, you know, and I can hook that up to my monitor as well. But ultimately, no, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm going to try to get the Spider-Man PS5 by trading in my Series S, or sorry, my Series X in October. So people have asked me, how long am I keeping the Series S? Or my goodness, Series X. I am keeping it until the Spider-Man console comes in at GameStop. Then my hope is to go in there on a Saturday morning and trade in my Xbox and say, because the in-store credit is $385. So that console is going to cost me like $180 something to get. And this will be a theme console, which I've never, ever gotten. Never got a theme console. So we're going to try to do that. So Scott Doves, what up to you, says, so does that mean 2025 they come out with their next gen console? Who are you talking about? Pretty open. Kenneth Williams in the house. What's up, Kenneth Williams? How you doing? Viaro says Sony needs to buy Remedy, Square, and From Software. Again, I don't know if they can buy From Software. I just think that's a pipe dream. They have invested into From Software. I think the same will happen. I think they'll buy like a big share. And some people are saying it's going to be CD Projekt Red, that they'll just buy a big share to the point where they can control it. Mario, he said Young and the cheeks. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch Young and Restless, man. That girl's fine. So, said D-Batch wasn't being critical. Yeah, that's what I said. They pushed back against him with the factual statement from Phil Spencer. But we know Phil Spencer and the rest of those guys have been saying one thing to the public, to the media, and they've been doing something different behind the scenes. So, you know, it is what it is. Mario Heat says Dolby Vision on Series X only works on a few select games. It's best to leave HDR10 for, well, but mine defaults. Like if that's the way I got my Series X set up, is that if the game comes on and it supports Dolby Vision, then my Series X defaults. It's just like, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and get it done. So hit that like button, people, by the way. But yeah, again, they push back against D-Batch. And again, because the factual statement that Xbox Rise Up right now doesn't plan on building another console, or there are no plans right now. So again, like I said, they give themselves an out. So yes, everybody makes, a lot of them lose money. Nintendo, and I think Sony is making money, but yeah, Microsoft does lose, I think, is it like $94 per console? But again, they get to write that off. They get to write that off. So you have to remember that. So, and again, that's fine. That's fine. That's not a cheat that they're doing. I want to make sure. But yeah, because companies do that all the time. They're operating at a loss. Like, you know, I don't know how long they can lose money, but if it makes any difference, the WNBA, it has lost $10 million a year since it's been on the court, and it's still on the damn court. So, yeah, what else are you saying? I like Dolby Vision. It's like I said, I like booty. Yeah, I like Dolby Vision. I don't have no issue with it. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what the members are saying. You know, if you remember, I read what you say. Paul Games said PS5 is more balanced and flexible. Yeah, that's what I've told him. I told him that. Yeah, it is. So it's a better balanced console. So it's like if you build a PC and you put a 3080 in your PC, but then, you know, as a graphics card, but then your CPU is a Ryzen 1700X, you're going to be like, oh no, this is going to bottleneck. This will bottleneck. I mean, now it won't as much for GPU bound games, but as you're seeing coming out, a lot of these games are CPU bound. They are heavy CPU bound games. Even Alan Wake, that is a heavy CPU bound game, and Control, heavy CPU bound game. So it is what it is. Corey Massey in the house. Y'all dudes have short memories. Third-party publishers and devs didn't support Pro, which I expect third-party devs and publishers support PS5 Pro. If PS5 becomes the default console, then yeah. But but again, I'm not here to say they're just going to upscale. They would have to, I think, a couple of things. This is just my opinion now. One, they would have to make a major purchase. And a lot of people think, and again, I'm not pushing this. A lot of people have just emailed me, yeah, they're going to buy CD Projekt Red, right? So that's what I was saying earlier. Let's say they buy CD Projekt Red. What game do they lead off with that just looks spectacular? Okay, and I'm saying that game would be Cyberpunk with full ray tracing at 60 frames per second, maybe higher, at 4K, locked at all of it. And I've said to people here, I'm not going to pull it up for fear of getting demonetized, but I would put it on the screen. I hope people go look at Cyberpunk being run on a high-end PC. So whether it's a AMD build or a Intel GPU, Intel CPU, and a NVIDIA GPU build, go look at that game running, especially at night. I was shocked at what the game looked like. So I'm like, oh my. So, but I think you would have to lead with something like that to push it, to say, look at what we have here. So it would be a first party developer, being because they bought them, and then they say, look at this game now, and they show it running. Again, this is my opinion. So, yeah, Corey Massey, the WNBA is subsidized. That's why the NBA players said they would give them $100,000 just to shut up, because even though those women are losing money, they still want more money. They're losing money, right? The league is hemorrhaging $10 million a year. The players subsidize that, the men. And that's why I like what Draymond Green and the rest of those guys were saying. Like, hey, look, we have a collective bargaining agreement coming up. We could always say we don't want to subsidize this anymore because it's losing money. And that's what shut the women up when they said, we got the purse strings here. You all don't. So, remember the Matrix demo? It had dips down to 15. Yeah, it was just a demo on what they could do with that Unreal Engine. That's all that was. It was phenomenal though. That first playthrough, I was blown away. But as multiple people said, it didn't have a lot of doors that you could walk. You couldn't walk into any of the buildings. So it was like they just took. It was good though. I'm not complaining. I am not complaining about what they did. So once we said, do we need a PS5 Pro? It's not a matter of what we need. It's a matter of what them staying ahead of the developers. So we got to get, we don't drive the market. The market is already rolling. It's like a horse running. You don't control that horse. That's a wild Mustang out there. You don't control that Mustang. And, so people got to quit looking at it like, well, what about this? What about that? No, they're gonna do something, only simply because they said it in the FTC trial that, when they build their PS6, they will not have Activision getting a hold of the a hold of it. So, a hold of their dev kit, because now Activision is going to be a first party company for Microsoft. It is what it is. Women's soccer is the same. Women's soccer at least has made money, especially after, again, it didn't up till 1999. People got to remember the 1999 World Cup team changed women's soccer because they won in Los Angeles. Everybody watched it. I watched that whole thing. That's the first time I ever watched a soccer match, but it was me.
I guarantee if a console maker buys CDPR, it will be Xbox. If PS buys them, I'll send you a super chat that day. Just keep Chocolate Thunder in his cell.
Oh yeah, I'm just using it as an example. But shout out to Boycott Activision for the $5. I agree. If anybody they get bought by anybody, it'd be Microsoft. They're closer to Microsoft, so yeah. That's why I'm just like, Sony, Inorganic Studios. They mean studios like CD Projekt Red and Remedy. Studios that they did not grow. So like they did with Haven. They bought Haven Studios. Because well, first of all, Jade Raymond's a pretty woman. I'd be paying her too. But she wants to make a game specifically for that PS5 and the SSD and the way it works. And she was having Mark Cerny come in and advise her. And Mark Cerny went back to Herman Holtz and was like, yeah, we need to buy this studio. And Herman Holtz and Cerny sat down with Jim Ryan and had like a 10-minute meeting and said, yeah, let's make the offer. And they did it. But no, you're not wrong about that. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. People email me, it's going to be, all right, fine. So I'm just saying, if you have a pro console, that's the best looking game I have seen on PC with balls to the wall with all the stuff it can do. And I'm talking about high end, a 4090 with a very i7, the high, maybe an i9 is what they were running that on. It had the DLSS on, Deep Learning Super Sampling. I mean, it looked stunning. And this is, I'm saying that as somebody who was like, man, the game's called Cyberpunk. What are you all doing? But yeah, PS5 is running like Secretariat. But again, this is not like, well, they're going to do this or do that. So I'm just using it as an example. And again, when Porter Rock, shout out to Porter Rock, I left the link in the description for his upload that he did. His point, if I understand his point, is that D Batch is looking at it like almost like for a fanboy. Microsoft will respond, and the people on that podcast were pushing back against him, saying, "No, Microsoft doesn't care about the consoles anymore. It's just Game Pass, and that's it, and cloud and Game Pass." So, what does CD Projekt Red bring to Sony? I was just using it for an example as an inorganic studio. That's it. That's all. I could have said Remedy. Would that have been better? I could have said Warner Brother Games. Would that have been better? I mean, it's the same. They're going to buy a studio that they have not homegrown and kind of fed the, watered them. So, and let them grow. Like Insomniac, okay? Insomniac had just made a game for Microsoft. And then they bought them. So, or they made the offer and Insomniac jumped on it, which good for them, good for them. Right. So, they saw it, they saw the potential and they bought them. So who's Ubisoft closer with, PlayStation or Xbox? Right now, PlayStation. Right now, Sony. Right now. Look who's got marketing rights to Assassin's Creed. All right. Look who's got marketing rights to Ghost Recon. Not Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six. So, but Ubi has made they made a statement saying that they're just going to make games for everybody. So I think that, yeah, Ubi would be a good buy, but I still think Ubi would caveat the buy and say, well, no, we still want to put games everywhere. Right. So, but yeah, that's all. A question, the rumor. It's not a rumor. I was just making, and there were people emailing me, but I don't look at it as a rumor. I'm just using it I was simply using it as a talking point. So not a rumor. So, all right, but now we'll go to the last story, which is Starfield's marketing. Like, where is it at? Because I've seen people, especially the ponies, talking about Starfield's marketing, not understanding that first things first, we're in August, and their problem this month, their issue this month is Madden. Madden owns August. The NFL, they got games Friday night. I'm going to the game next Friday between the Packers and the Bengals. I'm going to that preseason game, even though Joe Burrow's not going to play. I've seen Joe Burrow play 3 times now. But I want to see some of these rookies playing, especially there's a punting battle, I think, going on in camp. between a Michigan guy and Ohio State guy. So that's going to be fun to watch. Try to get some autographs from Joe Mixon. I think it's his last year in Cincinnati, so I really want to try to get his autograph. Already got one with Chase and all that. So, I want to try to get one with Brandon Boyd as well. So, and also that new offensive line. I can think of his name, the guy they got from Kansas City. And then I want a couple of Green Bay guys as well. So, but again, going up Friday, it's going to be a nice Friday night. Going up there, staying with some family, and then coming back early Saturday morning because the game is on the 11th, I believe. But yeah, we're gonna leave like at, we're like leaving early so that we can eat in Erlanger. That's what we want to eat at in Erlanger. She wants to go to something called Cracker Barrel. So I probably will not be podcasting on Saturday, but I might. We should be getting back here by like 9. So I may pull everything up around 9:30 like I normally do. Probably not. Probably will just wait till Sunday. So but in closing, the Starfield marketing, which I see is getting attacked by the ponies, I think it's stupid. I just don't think there's anywhere in August to go. I think you have Madden. Madden, I thought, came out around the 20th. That damn game says it's coming out on the 15th. That game comes out in 2 weeks. So I'll be going to put my money down on it on Friday, right? Or Saturday, minimum. Yeah, probably Saturday. I'll go to Well, what do they have over there I can eat at? Nowhere. I'll go to Arby's and then I'll head on over there. So, but anyway, forget about my stomach. Starfield's marketing, it's going to be fine. I think that the problem is Madden and then Mortal Kombat will start getting advertisement this month as well. So where do you put Starfield? Well, I think you put it on the radio. I know Madden is going to be on the radio advertising on starting Friday or Saturday. I got told that specifically. I got actual junket on that. Starfield, I think, goes week after that, the week of, once Madden comes out. So I say they go, if you don't hear something this week, then expect it around the 19th or 20th, because that'll be 2 weeks from launch. Microsoft is going to have some big thing. I'm hearing that they could be doing something with NASA. That's what I heard. I don't take that to the bank, please. Do not say, oh, well, they said they're going to do this. I heard they could be doing something with NASA, bringing in some former astronauts, maybe bringing in some Artemis people. That's people they're going to take a spaceship to the moon and circle the moon like 3 times and try to come back home. It's crazy, but it is what it is, right? So they're going back to the moon. But, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But again, I still think there's some envy in the PlayStation community. And they don't like the fact, and so they're going to try to poo-poo on Starfield, just as the PC community and the Xbox community. They're going to try to poo-poo on Spider-Man. You got people saying it's the same game, and I'm like, well, all right, but it's not coming to their preferred platform. So you also need to start looking for leaks as you get closer to Spider-Man. I've heard I got, information on Starfield I got is that the story is massive. So that's good for the single player games. And look, the game is 30 frames per second on Xbox. That's an abortion. That is an abortion. That is get the suction cannon out. This is terrible. But overall, they are promising a massive, massive story. And Bethesda has good story content from Morrowind to Oblivion, which I heard is being remade now on a brand new type of engine. But yeah, those games have great stories. Fallout 3, I can't speak for Fallout 4. It felt like a carbon copy of Fallout 3, but Fallout 3, one of the better stories that you can play in a game. It was just fun. I got lost in that world like I got lost in Oblivion and Skyrim. Just lost. After you escape in Skyrim, and you go to that first town, and they give you like 2 or 3 missions to do. I was like, man, this is fantastic. I'm having a real good time. So, yeah, somebody needs to play the Division 2. Exactly. Radio. Yeah, Madden, I can tell you, is going to start being advertised on radio because NFL camps are open. Like, I got to catch up on what the Bengals did today. So, because it was their first day in pads. So Madden is going to start being advertised on the radio. They did it last year. You know, they had a nice little advertising campaign. And rest in peace, John Madden, definitely. So, but that, and again, you will start seeing it in NFL preseasons, okay? Just don't be shocked if you got the NFL Network and you see some Madden stuff, all right? So, and I think Starfield comes a few days, if not a week after that. So they would need to advertise on Spotify. God, I like Spotify, but I need to get the one where it's commercial free. Because man, I will be jamming like 5 songs in a row, and all of a sudden it's 2 minutes of commercials. And it's the same commercials. You know, so so you don't think it's many? Well, you guys aren't in the community like I am. There's a whole huge community of people, the same people that are playing Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, EVE Online. They're playing those games. They're ready for Star Citizen. I'm sorry, for Starfield. So that's just the truth. So now whether the game delivers or not, that's different. So, but as somebody who plays single player games, I'm excited for the game. Now, do I have a chub? No. But am I excited for the game? Yes. Do I like the fact it's going to be 30 FPS and my PC should be ready by then? I should be able to get 60 on it. I don't like the fact that the people who went out and bought a console, you just got it at 4K. I mean, like I said before, they could have dropped it to 1440p and got 60. I don't know what's wrong with 2K, which is 1440p, but those guys at Bethesda advised against it. Okay, fine. And look, the screenshots that I've seen, I don't know if they're on a high-end PC, but they look really good too. But let me make this clear. That could have been on a high-end PC. That's what people keep saying. Well, it's on a PC. Okay, fine. So we're going to find out in a month. We will find out. So Fallout 4 was a snooze. That's what I just said. I just said that. I said Fallout 4 was a carbon copy of Fallout 3. Fallout 3 with all the DLC was really, really fun. Fallout 4, not so much. Yeah, it was a carbon copy. So you have Amazon Music. I did that for 3 months. I just didn't use it a whole lot. Like I have 2 Echo Dots, and she, what do you have? You still have, all right, she still has Amazon Music, but yeah, I do not. So Xbox is partnering with NASA for Starfield. I heard there could be some cross promotion. We'll have to wait and see. I literally said don't take it to the bank. So all games say Kid Smooth is pissing out Xbox. They are calling him an X. Oh, y'all are silly. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't follow Jerry anymore on Twitter. He said a bunch of shit that I thought was anti-Semitic. So he was like, well, if you all have a problem with what I said, just unfollow me. Like, yeah, that's easy enough. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, honestly. Scott does, so he thinks Starfield will be good on PC, but you're going to need a bonkers PC for it. Browns are playing this weekend. Is it the 5th? Is it really? When's the Hall of Fame game? You talking about, is it the Hall of Fame game? Well, let's look it up. We don't have to. We can just look it up right now. Because I'm not sure. I mean, I do not follow the Browns. If I lived in Northern Ohio, I would. I promise you I would. NFL. Preseason. Yeah, Browns, Jets. Wow, August 3rd. Jeez, that's, oh my God, my friend. That's Thursday Night Football. That's Thursday Night Football right there. NFL preseason, Thursday, August 3rd. Yep, Browns versus Jets. So, wow. So that's week 1, and then week 2 is when everybody else plays. Yeah. Now, week 2, the Browns play the Commanders. That's Washington, if you want to know who that is. Yeah, and I'm going to the Bengals game. That is the 11th. Wow. It is on top of us right now. Wow. I didn't realize it was that, like that close. Wow. Yeah, you're right. So if you want to watch, and this is where some Madden stuff, I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones. That is the 3rd. Holy smokes. That is Thursday Night Football. I will be over across the street at that little bar, drinking a beer, watching that. At least the with preseason, I watch the first quarter of it, then I come back home. But the fact it's going to be on, I'm like, ah. So that's it. Starting this weekend, I take that back. Starting Thursday, and then the following weekend, there will be NFL football on until February. I want you for every weekend till February. We start Thursday night. We start Thursday night. And I got a reason now to break out my ice cream. So I've got that Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I have the it's peanut butter and chocolate. So it tastes like a ice cream Reese's cup. That's all best I can tell you. I think I can tell you. So I think people are on a wait and see basis. I don't, that's fair. I think it's fair to be on a wait and see basis. I mean, I want to make that clear. I'm going to spend hours in the player creation screen alone. That much I can tell you. That much I will tell. I will sit there for hours trying to figure out the equipment, what's good, what's bad, stuff like that. That's just me personally. And but what are you guys going to do? They're going to play it on your PCs or on your Xboxes. I am torn. I am going to get my PC hopefully done. I wanted to do it in August, but it's looking more and more like it's going to be a September job. It's just pissing me off with the don't get me started. The student loan people called me yesterday. The government, I had to set up my payment plan. So, and I'm paying it. And so it may be a fall project. I mean, late summer, it could be grand opening, grand closing for your boy. So after I get this student loan thing done. So, Dirt Griggity put it, look, I mean, it's Dirt Griggity. Who cares, right? So, and Nate is in the house. So he says, I'll be playing both. What do you mean both? You playing on PC and Xbox? I mean, Xbox is 30 FPS. And I want to make this clear. Games that target 30, like Spider-Man on the PS4, even the PS4 Pro, that was 30 frames per second. I had no issue with it because it targeted 30 frames. I just would have thought you're going to claim this thing eats monsters for breakfast. I just can't. It eats monsters for breakfast. You would have thought the other games that are similar to it, even, are 60 frames per second. So that would be Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky. And the fact that they're running at 30 when No Man's Sky on the PS4, the base PS4 ran at 60, I believe. It was one of the 60 FPS games, 1080p 60, something like that. It's like one of the first 5 that they did that with. So yeah, it's funny. So the Game Pass allows you to game while paying student loans. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's I mean, again, I can't complain. I got a good they are forgiving student loan debt. But in order for me to get into the program, I had to pay the interest, and that's $1,000, G. So that's my PC build money coming out. So I'm looking at the worst October, which is what I knock wood. That's why I said that I will be getting rid of it in October. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So then I will use that money to get the Spider-Man thing. Last of Us 2 was 30 frames and it won Game of the Year. Well, yeah. I mean, again, yeah, it did. You're right about that. But and again, so I understand them targeting 30, but The Last of Us Part 1, I think, had a 1080p 60 FPS version on PlayStation or PlayStation Pro or something. Yeah, so people thought they were going to do the same thing. They would do a 1080p 60 version on that, but they didn't, and that's fine. It's one Game of the Year. Yeah, it was the best game. It was overwhelmingly the best game. So I think Hellblade and maybe Fable 30. Well, I mean, I hope not, because Hellblade had a 60 FPS mode on PlayStation. It had 2 game modes. I remember that. One was 60. So don't let the debt collectors know. Well, they're not debt collect. Well, I mean, it's the government, and they already know everything. So, but I'm telling you right now, I had close to I'm only going to have to pay back about 5,000. I'm going to have to pay. I have to pay back less than 6,000. So they have forgiven close to 50,000 in student loan debt. But but here's what I have to do. I have to pay the interest. So, but you got to call them. You got to get in touch with them and work it out with them. And if you don't like the number that the government gives you, you can always call the people first. But that's a different podcast. It's a different podcast. So to me, the main thing for me personally is that it's no longer going to be arching over me. So what's this about ESPN? Bringing back one of the most popular sports analysts out there. Oh, they're talking about Colin Cowherd. Okay, possibly coming back. Okay, to ESPN. Have to wait and see. You mean your rebuilt PC? Because yeah, it's the rebuilt PC. Yeah. So it'll be the last time I put something in there. So this will be the last build for my PC. So yeah, I got the 3060. I've got another Samsung SSD that I don't know if it can go in. I don't know how many SSDs I can hold. I've got 3 right now. So and I've got the 5500, and I got 3000 MHz memory. So 16 gigabytes. So I'm good. They're forgiving student loan debt because they know education is wrong. Well, no, education isn't a fraud. Just remember, education is training. You know, there's nothing like firsthand experience. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, you want that firsthand experience because that creates the knowledge. But there's nothing wrong with education, but it's not the everything people say it is. So, yeah, I got a new Ryzen CPU here. Remember, I got it a few months ago. If I had waited for Prime Day, I could have gotten it for $80. It was like $82 and some change. So, but overall, so yeah, that was pretty much all I had for us, guys. Any questions or comments? I mean, I think Starfield's marketing will start up here soon within the next, within the next 7 to 10 days. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So, and Nate says he has a month with BG3. What is BG3? So, what am I missing? Because it sounds like you got the bill ready to go. What am I missing? Oh, just it's just not an opportune time right now to go ahead and build it. Yeah, everything's here, but I got to make the appointment, and they're already like 3 weeks backed up. So it's just that, and then the unexpected expense. Because I was going to put the computer in the shop on the 18th and get it out hopefully on the 23rd, my birthday. Right? I was going to get it out on the 23rd, come home, fire it up, right? But yeah, I still might be able to do it because they give you 30 days to pay them, but I don't know how much they're going to charge me to do it. So we'll see. It's not a big deal. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, cool. More walking for Starfield. Yeah, I mean, that's what they went with. It's a walking simulator, and all that boo-hooing they did on Kojima's game. It's a walking simulator, which it was, okay, but yeah, you talk about how do you explore a planet and you ain't got no kind of doom buggy or something, man, that's trash. I mean, that's all I can really say about it at this point. So that's just one less thing. Well, we want you to enjoy. And they said, what, walking around? Oh, my God. You know how hard that's going to be, walking constantly? And you can't take your ship. Even at No Man's Sky, you can park your ship right next to where you need to go, right? You can't do that in Starfield. It has predetermined cutscenes on your ship landing. I mean, at least that's what they've said. So we'll have to wait and see. Will I get 60 frames with 3060? Yeah, I should, but I may have to drop the resolution to 1080p. But that's what I'll have to do. That's fine. So the 5000 series comes out next year and everything. Yeah, well, that's why I need something that's kind of right in between, right? So walking in jetpack, that's it. Well, that sucks. I mean, I'm just telling you, as somebody who plays these type of games, you need some kind of doom buggy to drive. I mean, you have that in Elite Dangerous. You have a doom buggy you can drive around in to go explore when you land on planets. So Death Stranding is unique, something lacking nowadays with derivative. Well, yeah, Death Stranding, the story was unique. I mean, if you could get through the first third of Death Stranding, yeah, I agree 100%. That first third was tough. Tough. After that first fight you have, that first boss fight, we want to call it, everything picks up after that. So yeah, the game, I mean, there's a little bit of everything in there. So tells you about extinction level events, and this is like the fifth or sixth time this has happened on this planet, and you know, Emily was an extinction entity. I mean, it was good. It was brilliantly written, and you really had to follow the story. But yeah, I had no issue with the game. I enjoyed it. The 3080 minimum. No, I'm not getting the 3080. So this is it. 3060 and 5500. This is enough for me to still maintain 1440p 60 HDR on the majority of games. So, which is fine. You know, it's hunky dory for me. What am I playing tonight? Nothing. Nothing. That's I won't probably be playing again until the weekend, and that'll be the 2 Mass Effect playthroughs. So one will be at noon. That'll be the Xbox one on Twitch, and then probably at 4:30 the PlayStation one. But yeah. I mean, the fact that NFL is happening, I got to get my chips and everything. I'm gonna have a good time on Thursday, and get off work, and I'm gonna, I don't know, we're gonna enjoy it on Thursday. So, will I focus on base management or ship credit on Starfield? It sounds like you're gonna have to do a little bit of both. Probably early on, base management. You know, probably base management early on. At least Fallout 4 had vertibirds, which were useless. Yeah, I know, right? Student debt collectors forbid you getting an RTX card. Well, I have an RTX card. Isn't that what this is? Yeah, GeForce RTX. I've already got them. So yeah, I already have an RTX card. I'm good there. So yeah, but so that's it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. We'll have to wait and see. It ought to be fun. So ME1, you played 27 times. ME2, 13. Now I haven't played ME1 27 times, but I'm playing it using the female, and I plan on saving Caden. I've only done that once. I've had one playthrough where I saved Caden. So, and I think with the female shepherd, look, Shaquita, she's going to end up saving Caden, but I'm still going to end up romancing Liara, because people keep saying you should just do a total Liara romance. Now with LaQuisha, I don't like her nose. Her nose is still a little bit pointy for me, but all right, I can rebuild her face a little bit in Mass Effect 2. I'll change her nose up, so that'll be fine. No Man's Sky will have way more content. I expect that. No Man's Sky came out in 2015? So I expect No Man's Sky to always have more content. So yeah, all I need is a Switch, which again, I'm okay on. I don't want one. I'm all right. So everybody should play Mass Effect one time. Go through that series one time. If you want to play it accurately, play Mass Effect 1, then play Mass Effect Andromeda. As far as your weapons and stuff, like you'll see weapons that don't turn up until like Mass Effect 3, but that's cool too. That's cool too. So that's fine. But yeah, you do have to fabricate a lot of your stuff in Mass Effect Andromeda. So, and that was part of the fun for me personally, but the game just never delivered on what I thought it was going to be, which was base building and explorers on new planets. And it's kind of like every planet you went to, they were already there. There were Krogan on some planet. But there weren't any Solarians, but and the Turians were still on their arc. But once you get the Turian arc to come back, and I've said this with Mass Effect Andromeda, once you get the Turian arc back to where it needs to be, that game gets better, but it just didn't. And again, the third act is real good, but the first act is just arduous. I mean, it just made you not like what you were doing. So you tried to start with the second Mass Effect, then you got to start with that first Mass Effect. That first Mass Effect. That should pull you in within the first 20 minutes. give or take. Give or take. But No Man's Sky evolving as much as it has been free is insane. Glad you find it. Yeah, No Man's Sky. I finished it on PS4. Got to, like he was saying, your goal was to get to the center of the galaxy, which I did, and all it did was just it went to another galaxy. So like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm done playing this. So I had this Horizon look on my TV. Which one, the Horizon, like the racing game, or Forbidden West? I would say Forbidden West is the best looking game I have seen, like, ever in my life. Like, I can't believe some of the stuff it has in there. And yeah, it's really, really good looking game. But even Horizon, I always want to say Motorsports, Forza Horizon, that's a good looking game too. So yeah, the Mass Effect series is one of the most successful gaming series of all time. And they allegedly were going to do a TV show. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going. Mike Johnson, what CPU am I using? I'm using the Ryzen 5 series, the 5500 is what I got. So, which matches perfectly with the 3060. Everybody says to get the 5600X, but I would have had to do a BIOS flash, which means that I just said, well, I'm just gonna get another motherboard, right? That was my goal. Like, I'm gonna get another motherboard. Now here come the student loan people. And trust me, I tried to push them off until September, but they weren't having it. So Andromeda would have been a better game if they didn't call it Mass Effect. I agree. I've said that. If it would have been called Journey to Andromeda or something like that, whatever, Space X9, Journey to Andromeda. Yeah, I think it would have turned out a lot better, but it didn't. It was trash. So you should try it on PC. Yeah, I say you should do it. Yeah, I like sci-fi games. That's why I'm excited for Starfield. But I'm not like, I don't have a chub. I'm excited for it. I'm already disappointed in it being 30. Like I said, that's terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy playing it. Even if I have to play it on my Xbox. See what I'm saying? But while I'm waiting for my PC, while I'm paying off the government to get into their program, that could be a secondary option. I don't want that. But they hit me up for a stack in 90 days. And I'm like, okay, well, here's what I can do. So I think I'm going with the 5500. As long as I don't have to do the BIOS flash, that's all I'm worried about. I don't want to have to do the BIOS flash. So because they may charge me more to do it. So if I get the 5500 motherboard, 5500B, I don't need to do the BIOS flash. And that's only, I think those are right now going at 129. I might be able to get one for 119. So I'm still waiting. So yeah, that X570 motherboard right now is 199 to 179. It's just a little out of my range for now. But all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. So like I said, I'm an old man. I gotta go take my Geritol and Metamucil and go to bed. So the student, yeah, they're gonna ask for my gamer tag and take all my trophies. They sure are. They're gonna take my trophies. So the BIOS flash is easy. Well, if they can get it to work, yeah, but they may not be able to. They may struggle. So, I mean, I don't want them to have to struggle to, like, here, I'm going to say, like Vin Diesel said in the movie Triple X, Vin Diesel's like, I want you to put all this in here. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to do that. So, we're going to end our poll here. Shout out to everybody that voted. Over 80 people voted. And the question was, are you surprised about the lack of promotion for Starfield? 73% of you said no. Okay, so I'm not either. I'm not, to me, it's not ready to go yet. Yeah, it's a month out. However, but we'll have to wait and see what Microsoft does. I still think next week, at the latest, you'll see some marketing popping up. So I have it on my timeline as far as, the Facebook group that I'm in. We're always talking about it. They were talking about it earlier today. So We'll have to wait and see. But all right, guys, that is it. I am going to get on out of here. I do appreciate you coming and hanging out and all that kind of stuff for 30 frames. Full ray tracing. So we will talk to you later.